Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm in the middle of a big city right now. There was an just totally stopped traffic on the exit I took. So sorry. I actually did updates on my phone just now, so it would hopefully work, and it did. I had to restart my phone twice. So if this doesn't come through or something happens right now, I will let everybody know what happened tonight. But I'll just start the story over in case anybody missed it, which I'm sure it was sort of glitchy. So I was up way up north in Vermont all day, way up north in New Hampshire on the way back, and I was in my sister's town, and she ended up. I'm gonna move it over here because of the glare. So in the town that my sister lives, it's a very poor town, and on the side of the road there was a sign, and it said neon light worship service, and I was like, what? I was like, that's so weird. I was like, do we really, as Christians, if that is even a Christian worship service, do we really need to invite people to an entertaining worship session? This is about worshiping our Creator and our God, and that is our responsibility and our privilege to do so, that He even allowed us to have limbs and eyes and ears and a voice to worship Him. Carpenter company, after they do your house, like those little, even politics, but they put those little signs up with the metal brackets, the metal pegs that you stick in the ground. So that was on the side of the road. Then I haven't seen a sign for neon lights, never mind a worship service of neon lights. I don't think hands raised with glow sticks in the hands. And I was like, that is so stupid, bordering on blasphemous, because many people know this, but like when you go to a rave concert, they have neon lights and like they're all popping ecstasy and stuff like that. So it's just in my opinion, it's supposed to be worshiping the Lord in a lit up sanctuary, because unless it's like a solemn moment or something like that with candles or something, because He is the light, and so doing it in darkness is just strange to me. It's just my personal opinion on it. But moving on to the video that Marie sent me today on 5G technology, which is the only video anyone sent me today. So at the end of the 5G technology video, it had a line from Simon and Garfunkel, I think, and it said something about there's neon lights on the wall. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm watching a 5G video, and I'm like, what? I was like, what does that have to do with anything that, like, with 5G, really? I mean, like, it was pertinent to the video, but why two things like that come up all at once all of a sudden? And I was like, in my mind lately, I've been not overwhelmed, but just, I'm like, Lord, there are so many people that are just being bombarded by so many things, and the Lord keeps showing me the dream that I had about the dragon, which had the face of a man and crown, being released from the gates of heaven, like a heavenly gate, some type of gate in heaven, which I've been reading to 3rd Enoch, where it speaks of the devils being at the lower gates of heaven, like the lower levels of heaven. So in this dream, I had said it many times, but I'll repeat it. In the dream, the devil was released. I saw the gates raised, and he was about to be let go, and he was floating there, like almost like the demon I saw a long time ago. It looked like a seahorse, and it was floating, and it was huge, like so huge, and it just, nobody was clapping, nobody was cheering it on because it was released. It just, the gates opened, and I knew something was going to be different. And ever since that happened, I have personally seen in America way more persecution of Christians, way more pushing of the homosexual agenda, and way more pushing of the transsexual agenda, which the homosexual agenda many do not even agree with. They think it's totally ludicrous. Reasons being is that girls can't even win their own sports competitions anymore because this is happening. Like the transsexuals are winning all the sports competitions, and I explained to several people the other day, like this is where ultimately all truth ends up going. Because if you pervert the truth, eventually there will be consequences that you didn't even think about. So the liberal movement, they say that men and women are equal. Well, if they're so equal, then how come people that are biologically men are destroying little girls in their sports competitions, and all these girls are in an uproar, and it's basically turning sports upside down? Why also is people that stand up and just say, all they say is Bible verses in their tweets, and they are ostracized? Why would that happen? Why would even homosexuals that are even married be standing up for those people? Because they understand the fact that, you know, if people are not allowed to say how they truly feel, then that is our freedom of speech, and that will affect them as well. So you see how all these gears are turning right now. And I asked the Lord, I just asked him, this is 45 minutes ago, I asked him. And I don't know if who's listening, or if you've ever heard me say this. If you have been a listener for a while, you told him, I said the Bible verse, I said, Lord, I understand that that only a wicked generation asks for a sign, but please show me what to do in this world. And that's kind of like, I'm probably gonna cry right now, but I said it to the Lord the way Solomon said it to him about wisdom. Solomon didn't know how to rule his country. He didn't know how to rule Israel at such a young age, and he asked the Lord for wisdom. So he was given wisdom. And we all know that he eventually lost it for worshiping false idols and things like that. But when I said that to the Lord, I could see things on signs. And I just asked the Lord, I said, Lord, how do we fight something like this? How can we find our way through this mess that has been created by all this evil? And I was in a two-lane road. And the sign, immediately when I prayed this to the Lord, the sign on the side of the road had like a squiggle this way and a squiggle this way, and it said center lane or something like center lane. That's what it said. That's why I changed the title, because I wrote line by accident, because I'm not going to enjoy getting my tooth pulled in a minute, and I'm a little nervous right now. So I saw the sign that said center lane, and I look around, I'm like, there is no center lane. I was like, what are you talking about, God? And I didn't say it disrespectful, I just said, what are you talking about, God? And I didn't have, as soon as I said, like, this is all in a matter of like your thought process, so this was like a millisecond. I said, what are you talking about, God, with center lane? And he goes, your path. It's your path. I've spoken to other people before. The reason I did not choose Trump or Hillary is because I choose Christ. Neither was a good choice. There are people that have been forced to make a choice in life, like the guy who invented the website Reddit. They were going to put him in federal prison for things that he did not necessarily need to go to prison for, and he committed suicide. So he didn't see a left or a right lane, so he killed himself. In our option, we have Jesus Christ. Israel Folau was kicked out of rugby permanently, a multi-million-dollar contract, because he chose Jesus Christ. That is how you navigate what we are going through right now. Regardless of consequence, regardless of what happens, regardless of what is going on around you, you need to choose the center lane, which is Christ. And he is not something of this world. This world is an evil place. You need to choose him. And if that means that you will